This sort of weird looking knife is the 6.5-inch Shun Classic Nakiri knife, and it's essentially a shorter, stouter vegetable cleaver. It's meant to cut through vegetables straight down, straight down, straight down. And it's a very, very good knife to have if you work with lots of hard, fibrous vegetables, or just sort of any sort of vegetables in general, I guess. Even tomatoes would work really well with this. Again, it's flat, it is square, so you know exactly what you're cutting into, and as long as it fits in the blade, you know exactly where you're going to be going through. And since it's actually pretty wide, it allows you to have a nice amount of stability as you're going down, because the food sort of crushes the size of the blade and directs it down as you're cutting. So I want to discuss why the Shun Classic line is pretty much one of the gold standard knives in the knife making world, especially for Japanese knives. It's very, very highly regarded. First things first is the metal. As a lot of you know, the VG10 steel is considered one of the best steels out there. It's the gold standard for knife making. It's very hard, it's very resilient, and it holds an edge very well. Shun took VG10 and made it a little bit better. They upped the game a little bit by making VG Max, which is even harder, even more resilient, and even better at holding an edge. So it's ground down to a 16-degree angle, and it is 61 hardness, which means you get the best of both worlds. It's very, very hard and very, very resilient, and it holds an edge, but also it's extremely, extremely sharp. On top of that, they then coated it in 34 layers of stainless steel, which gives you not only this beautiful Damascus look on there, but also makes it very resilient to pitting, staining, chips, and rust by virtue of it being stainless steel. It's made in Japan, full tang and forged, obviously, like all high-end knives. And its handle is actually a black paca wood, which is a compressed fibrous wood that becomes not fibrous once it's compressed and filled with resin. So the handle is actually extremely, very, very resilient as well. You'll notice a theme of resiliency going through these knives. The handle, interestingly enough, is not symmetrical like most knives. It has an excess of mass right here on the side, and the point is, it fits into your palm and your knuckles if you're right-handed, and if you're left-handed, it fits into this little crevice right there. So either way, it's a more ergonomic knife. Like all high-end knives, it is full lifetime warranty, but unlike all high-end knives, it also comes with free sharpening, which I love. As a lot of you know, if you're using high-end knives and you're giving them to a reputable sharpener to sharpen, a knife like this will cost you about $5 per inch to sharpen. If they're doing it by hand, if they're doing it using whetstones manually and not just pulling it through an electric grinder. So $5 an inch is sort of the general rule for sharpening a non-serrated knife like this, which means a 7-inch knife like this, or a 6.5-inch, which is pretty much a 7 for their purposes, let's be real, would be about $35 just for one knife to sharpen. And even with that said, you still don't know how good of a job they're going to do, even with their track record. With Shun, you send it to Shun. First and foremost, if they notice any defects, they throw it away and they send you a brand new one. But otherwise, they look at the knife, they sharpen it back to specifications as the manufacturer, and they do it for free and they send it back to you. It's really a no-brainer. I'm going to put a link down this below if you guys have any questions or comments or concerns. As always, let me know. But otherwise, I will talk to you very soon. This sort of weird looking knife is the 6.5-inch Shun Classic Nakiri knife, and it's essentially a shorter, stouter vegetable cleaver. It's meant to cut through vegetables straight down, straight down, straight down. And it's a very, very good knife to have